Okay, sorry about this, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to another morning breakthrough with Coco, helping you undo so God can do. So this is our first week back after about a little bit over 30 days on medical leave and just finishing up completing some unfinished projects. So I am definitely happy to be back again, and we are going live from this page now as opposed to me sharing with you from my personal page because I really want to start focusing in on things from definitely a more coaching business perspective, so to speak. So for those of you who don't know, I am a mindset coach with Be Accelerated into Purpose, and I am looking forward to this new 10-week series. So in this new 10-week series, it is coming from the book, and this book is hard to find online, but you may be able to. But it's called Think Differently by James MacDonald, and it's a book that was actually given to me 2 years ago. And obviously, as a mindset coach, I focus on uh, what we think. So, just to get into this morning's lesson, basically this particular book, the author talks about how if we change our thoughts, then things in our lives begin to change. And I want to actually take it a little bit further. I just went through some certification courses dealing with the mindset, and I want to take it a little bit further in that it's not just our thoughts that has to change, but also our beliefs, because oftentimes our thoughts are based on our beliefs. Because we believe a certain way, that's what we think. Therefore, that's what we speak. That's what we do. So I want to talk about not only what and how we think, but also what we believe that has an effect on the things that we think, do, and say. So this morning, this morning's topic. So this is a 10-week series, and he has a chapter or a section for each day. So today is day one, and we're talking about winning and losing in the mind. And before I go deep into the lesson itself, which these are still going to be just 15-minute sessions, I want to share kind of the, I guess, foundational verses for the book, for this book. One is Proverbs 23:7, and allow me to. Um, the first verse is Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And this morning's verse that I want to share comes from 2 Corinthians 2, 2 Corinthians 10, 3 through 6. And it says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we are not waging war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds." You're going to hear that word a lot. Strongholds, that mainly a stronghold is a faulty belief, a irrational belief, something, a fear of something. It is something that we think that holds us back from moving forward into something. We destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God and take every thought captive. Captive means to arrest, to prohibit something from manifesting. So again, you're going to hear me talk a lot about that as far as taking captive our thoughts. We have to, that's why it's so important. And I know this is my business page, but guess what? We need some sound spiritual advice, even as we are building and expanding our businesses. So when it comes to taking captive our thoughts, that's getting rid of those negative thoughts, but then we have to make sure we replace it with something positive. So and take every thought captive to obey Christ, being ready to punish every disobedience when your obedience is complete. So those are just two of the foundational verses or passages for this particular lesson. And give me just a sec. I'm trying to share this video out. So get ready to think differently. Get ready to allow yourself to be challenged. And I guess I can't. Oh well, don't worry about that. Sorry. Okay, so be ready to have your thoughts challenged. Okay, so sorry about that. So here's something that I want to do this morning. So the first lesson of today, it actually gives us a couple of situations. So a lot of times we wonder why people react the way they react, why people behave the way they react. And a lot of times what you will hear me say is not so much what a person is doing, but the why. So we want to get into, so this lesson, to think differently, helps us get into the why of what people do. We see people doing so many different things that just rubs us the wrong way or it doesn't make sense to us. But when you start thinking about the why, you understand. And as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of a story that's been told to me um, from one of my coaching mentors. So there's a young girl sitting at the table watching, and this is kind of way off base, but there's a young girl sitting at the table watching her mother prepare a ham, and she sees the mother put the ham, cut off the ends of the ham, and put it in a pan. And when she puts the ham in the pan with the ends cut off, she asks her mom, "Why are you doing it that way?" And the mom says, "Well, that's because that's how my mom used to do it." So here's the thing with that. So the daughter asked her grandmother why she did it. And she did it because during the time when she was coming up, they had to cut the ends off because the pan was too small. So here's the point behind that. A lot of times we do things out of tradition, not really knowing why. So we come to believe something based on what someone else was doing, not understanding their why. So a lot of times we have grown into doing things ourselves and it's based on what somebody else was doing, but we need to change that. We need to understand why they did it because that may not be the reason why you need to do it. So again, all of this is about understanding why people do the things that they do. So here's a scenario for you. Um, why does Kevin blow up every relationship that gets too close to him? Think about that. We know some people that have done the same thing, or maybe we've done it ourselves. When we're in a relationship, or we getting too close to somebody, or somebody's getting too close to us, and we start getting cold feet, or we know that somebody starts backing off, and we feel like maybe they're not ready for a commitment. But what is it that causes them to want to back off? What is it that causes them to sabotage a relationship before it even gets started or when it's going good? What is it that causes a person to do that? So for him, because he believes proximity equals pain. That's what he thinks. So as he moves close to a person, eventually he finds a way to wreck the relationship because he doesn't want someone to get close enough to hurt him. So we have to realize as we're dealing with people in our vocations or whatever type of work that we're doing, that so, not to take things personally because we don't know what someone is going through. And so a lot of times we want to look at the person and say like, oh, something wrong with them, or they got an issue, or why are they treating me like this? And it's not so much you as it is a belief that they've come to stand on based on previous experiences. So again, understanding the why, understanding that some people act the way they act because of previous experience they've been through and how it has affected them. And until they change that belief, guess what? So that's why you see so many people going in and out of relationships, hurting everybody that they're with. It's not necessarily that they're a bad person. It's just that they are moving and going into each relationship with a faulty belief, believing that if I get close to this person, they're going to hurt me. And they go from one person to the next, or they go from one job to the next, or one church to the next because of their belief. So again, this is called think differently. We have to change not only our thoughts, but also our beliefs. So I got one more scenario that I can share right quick. So the book says, after reading the following examples, consider how each of them is going to have to change their thinking. So number one example, Linda is hypercritical. Hypercritical meaning she is very opinionated, always voicing her opinion about something. How can she change? First of all, why would she think like that? So people who are hypercritical or very opinionated most likely need to change self-thought. They need to change what they think about themselves. A lot of times when people project or are so opinionated and speaking on what someone else should do, it's because it's something that they're frustrated with themselves and something that they need to do about something that they don't like about themselves. And a prime example, I can remember, this would be my last point, when I was, well, actually at the company that I'm working with now, I was frustrated with this supervisor and felt like she didn't know what she was doing, that I could have done a better job than her. I was just so frustrated with her. Just the sight of her, didn't like it. And eventually I had to ask myself, why are you so frustrated with her? And when I asked myself that, I considered, I'm frustrated with her because I'm frustrated with me, because I was not doing what I should have been doing with my business. But instead of me focusing on what I was not doing, I was looking at her. I was projecting my feelings on her. So again, when you find people who are hypercritical like that, overly opinionated, always have an opinion about what this person should be doing, always saying, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do this, or that kind of deal, a lot of times it's because of something that they don't like about themselves. So instead of treating them negatively, instead of looking down on them, it has to come to, okay, so then you have to ask yourself, how do I respond to this person, knowing that they're not necessarily a bad person, they just have a faulty belief somewhere. So when we're talking to people like that, we should, in a very polite way, ask them, why do they feel that way about a person? Is it something that they're going through, so to speak? So that's what we kind of have to look at. So again, that is those are your nuggets for this morning. Again, today's topic was winning and losing in the mind. And we will continue again tomorrow as we battle beyond the physical. So hopefully something shared this morning will stir up some thoughts within you. Again, just remembering that it's not so much the what, but the why. Consider what other people may be going through that causes them to act a certain way. So hopefully this lesson, this series will just get your thoughts churning and realizing, people are not bad. It's just that they have certain belief systems that they've grown up with from experiences, from just how they were taught, from parents and teachers, and that's just where they've been stuck. And until something new is introduced into a person's mind, that's where they stay. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to another Morning Breakthrough with Coco, helping you undo so God can do. Remember too, if you have not already, check out my new book, See Self as God Sees, and I have posted the link in the post. So with that being said, have an awesome Monday. Y'all, love y'all. Take care. Have an awesome day.